Great value for the price, and a lot better than I was expecting. TOZO 6 True Wireless Earbuds Bluetooth Headphones Touch Control with Wireless Charging Case EPI Waterproof Stereo Earphones Inner Built-in Mic Headset Premium Deep Bass for Sport Black. The TOZO 6 True Wireless is sold by TOZO. Make sure this fits by entering your model number. Smart Touch Control Specific touch control function makes it more convenient. Tap once to play music and answer calls. Double tap to skip forward-backward. Hold to adjust the volume. You can easily control it without operating the phone. Bluetooth 5. 3. Adopt the advanced Bluetooth 5. 3 technology. TOZO 6 support HSP, HFP, ETWAD, AVRCP, which greatly improve the transmission speed and providing you with a low-latency listening experience. One-step pairing. Pick up 2 headsets from charging case, and they will connect each other automatically. Then only one step. Easily enter mobile phone Bluetooth setting to pair the earbuds. EPI waterproof earbuds and charging case. Inner nano coating makes it possible to waterproof for 1 meters deep for 30 minutes. It is suitable for sports to prevent water. Ideal for sweating it out at the gym. Earbuds and case even can be washed by water and soap. Charge on the go. Playtime lasts for over 6 hours from single charge and total 30 hours with charging case. Enjoy fast charging to fully charge the rechargeable case. Only 55 minutes via cable or less than 2 hours via wireless charger, providing convenient charging way with no strings attached. 4.4 out of 5 stars. This product has a total of 229,648 reviews. Product linked in the description below. The first review is from Xmetal. Great value for the price, and a lot better than I was expecting. 5.0 out of 5 stars. August 30, 2022. Things are still great, and I just want to say, despite getting other earbuds that do sound good, such as the SoundPads TrueTooth semi-inner buds and 2 different pair of Lavabin earbuds, that while bulky they both have great battery life, hence why they are big. For the battery, that have a great sound stage, but not as much oomph to the overall sound as these 6s. I love both. Do I even have to say that I still totally recommend these at this point? May 2, 2022 update. Things are still great. Barely a slight annoyance to me, though I admit I do not use these for phone calls. It's just something I'd like to mention. Another thing that is picky: the earbuds, when taken out of the case, have to be flipped around before putting them in your ear. This seems so silly of a thing to mention, but the earbud part that has the ear tip faces inside of the case, and the part that sticks out of your ear. Summary: I am sure I am forgetting comments I wanted to make, but I do recommend the TOZO 6 without hesitation. Only having one other TOZO product, the TOZO, I do admit they have the sound I love about the TOZO I love and have improved it. I would not hesitate to recommend either TOZO or TOZO, what many consider the 2 best TOZO models, to people. No issues that cleaning sponge and dirt dust off the pin where the pins connect doesn't fix. I have been using my new JLUB Go Air Pop nightly instead of these, and overall I think the default tips make those feel better than the 6s. Doing an abs comparison, wondering if the 6s really do sound better than the Go Air Pops. Yeah, the TOZOs sound better than the 6s, but the 6s definitely have a more rich sound than the JLUB Go Air Pop's JLUB Signature EQ I bought this past month. I already bought a pair of the 6s when they hit a super low 4 lower than normal lightning sale for a gift for someone. April 1, 2022 update, after seeing the 6s too. $50 or so cheaper than the typical lightning deal, and in no time at all. 80 claimed. I bought a second pair, still not sure if a gift for someone or a backup pair for myself, but despite liking the TOZO, I still like the 6s as well. I'd be interested in trying some of TOZO's other offerings. My only issue, and I admit I am waiting to hear back from TOZO support as I type this, is the warranty and how to register the Lavabins and these 6s. I feel process a warranty on the site is trying to use it, not simply registering it. I am a techie guy, and I have registered warranties for products such as Tribbits. TOZO could just make it a little more clear on this front. Also something I found by accident. And it makes sense that it's work in a way. I usually use these when sleeping. They are good for sleeping, though noting whatever side of my head faces the pillow doesn't have an Earbud in it. I had been swapping them when I wake up and roll over. However, just using the same one in the other ear works fine too. One thing I also noticed, not sure if it's the shape of my ears, is that the right earbuds sometimes sound muffled if I use anything other than the shallow tips, provided they are more comfortable, but you do lose a bit of bass. The solution is to pinch the right earbud to not trigger the touchpad and just pull out a hair. Don't get me wrong with the same Shift EQ I always apply. Just barely, and that clears that up. It doesn't happen with default TOZO tips. Just specifically the 6s and only in my right ear with nonchalant tips when I first put them in another update. The only issue I have is for a gift for someone. I am trying to decide if these or say a pair of TOZOs and TOZOs would be better for them. Both great options. I have still used these mainly for my side asleep. Heck, I already picked up a second pair of the TOZOs. I was so impressed to have for myself against picking up another pair of the 6s, though I'd like to try some of the other models too, to have a backup pair of these too. I do admit sometimes just to get the perfect fit I swap ear tips. Nothing that causes me pain with one pair or the other, just trying to dial things in from time to time. But I am highly impressed with these. I do admit on Amazon and elsewhere on the internet I think I have seen the TOZOs and the 6s getting the highest reviews versus some of the other TOZO models. Overall, these may be my favorites. Update: using these regularly, including sometimes sleeping where they are on for hours. I have only charged them twice, and the last time I did I couldn't even remember how long it was since the first time I charged them was. It had to be almost 2 weeks and possibly a few hours, and topped off as I swapped them using them for sleep. But that is just how good the TOZOs sound. These 6s still sound great to me, and I'd not be against picking up a backup pair of these in case the price goes up. I am impressed by TOZO. I just hope these buds last, not saying they are having issues. To be clear, I am totally happy with my purchase. These TOZO 6s are ones I picked up after seeing how highly they were rated. I have to admit I am not sure what I expected. I mean, some OMG, they are the best reviews on any products sort of make me think they are over-exaggerating, but having said that, these really have impressed me. Sure, I have a pair of higher-end earbuds that sound great, but there is something about the overall package, sound quality, battery, price. I am new to BT earbuds, but so far I have a number of pairs of buds, including Bluetooth earbuds. I have our TOZO TOZOs, Earphones Free Pro 2s, and the Earphone Free Minis. It's going to be too hard right now to compare the sound, but I can roughly do it. The fact that I haven't played with the TOZO Pros a lot, I do love them for the record, and say the files I can judge the sound on, but they have an app with custom EQ settings. I also have to note I do not have any of these for calls. I just can't judge them on that front. Listening to music and watching videos, YouTube, television shows and movies on various devices is my main use case. Thing to remember the sound and comfort part is based on a number of things, and getting the right ear tip for you is key. Too small and any earbud may feel like they fall out easy, and in some cases the bass of an earbud isn't as strong as it should be. Too big, and not only will you have discomfort, but in my experience the bass may seem to be too much. The sound insulation, aka passive noise cancelling, is really dependent on you getting a good seal in your ear, and that means the proper tips. Some of this is trial and error to see which ones are the best for you. Presentation, unboxing. The presentation and unboxing is not something that blows me away in most cases. If it's one of those small brown box with not a, that's cool with me. Having said that, I am impressed. The unboxing of these and the TOZO for that matter shows that the company cares. I expected an experience at worst, but there is something about the unboxing and how everything is together that makes me feel oh they went above and beyond here. Nice sound. This may not be the top priority. I mean, if they don't feel good, it doesn't matter how they sound, but it's up there for me near one. It's on lightning deals that are far cheaper than those earphones that I love about the sixes. I expected a reasonably good sound, but nothing over the top. My expectations were more of what I have heard from the earphone-free minis, good enough and great at times, but just missing a richness. The best way I can describe it. While I have heard better, these sound a lot better than that description. Before I go further about the sound, I totally admit no matter the wired wireless earbud headphone I use, I usually have an EQ on a mix between a U and a V type setting, bass raised and treble raised a bit, but not a sharp V-shaped EQ profile. Just have to be clear on this. The sound on these may not please a true audiophile, but I am impressed. Everything lows, mids and highs are right where they need to be, and even the punchy bass in some rap tracks is clean sounding. The bass in my testing does not bleed into the mids, making the things sound muddy as some people may have seen it described. These have a punchy bass at times, but it's not over the top by any means, and that is how I like it. Another thing is that things do not sound as wide as some other headphone earbuds I have heard, but still things are not crammed together. Things in my tests of jazz, classic rock, typically hard rock, but regular rock too, and rap, there is room for everything to breath sound wise, if that makes sense. I hate to overblow how great the sound is. I mean, there are better, more expensive options, but these six sound a lot better than I was expecting. I have only one other TOZO, although I'd love to try more product in the TOZO, and I can see why so many love the TOZO. I go back and forth listening to different buds, and when coming back to these sixes I am blown away by the sound. I am not trying to say these are the most wide sounding when it comes to soundstage, but they are by no means the most narrow either. I like them the way they are. Comparison comments about two TOZO products, these TOZO versus the TOZO. Before I go further, since I just mentioned the TOZO, they are an improvement to the TOZO. I love the TOZO, do not get me wrong, but the sound is just that much crisper and cleaner. The bass is better on the TOZO versus the TOZO, and I have no issue with the TOZO sound. It's what I love about the TOZO made better, sound-wise. If you like this form factor better over the TOZO stem style design, maybe the Ninins or Xivins would be right for you. Passive noise cancelling. I have to say I am impressed with the passive NC these provide with the right earbud tips. I mean, I do have to say the TOZO active NC is great, and I love it, but these provide far more NC passively than I was expecting. I also know what ANC in this price range is. I do not expect ANC to cancel everything out, even when it say comes to higher-end Sony earbuds. There is even a good thump to the bass when appropriate, but it's clean and not over the top to my ears. The TOZO provide great passive noise cancellation with no audio on. However, once there is say music playing, things are just drowned out. I have a black Honeywell fan near me that is on most of the time, and when I have the TOZO in and the fan on. When music is on, I barely hear the fan at all. The TOZO ANC cancels out noise like that very well. Do not get me wrong, but I am just shocked how well the TOZO work blocking noise out when they do not even have ANC. Comfort, of course, this is all based on getting the right air tip, as I have said before, but after some trials of different size tips to at least see what the smaller or bigger ones are like. I have what I like dialed on. I do admit it may be a bit of an issue for some to swap tips. My advice, flip the part of the tip that would be touching your ear around. If the tips are too big, they may hurt your ears, so it doesn't matter. If they sound good, you will not like your earbuds then. These are also earbuds that I have tried when going to sleep. I do side asleep and they are no issue, though I admit in that case I use them one at a time with whatever side of my head faces down, not having an earbud and I wake up. I'd love to try. I do have two pairs of TOZO which I love two other TOZO models, but I'd be questioning should I just get a backup pair of TOZO when considering the others. Build quality. I am not going to go overboard and say how TOZO uses premium quality products here, but at the same time note how the build quality is another place where TOZO really impresses me. With the TOZO, the buds and the case do not feel cheap or like corners were cut. I am not saying the case feels heavy or anything, but there is just a feeling that things are well made. This may be my favorite case among the group of Earbuds I mentioned having. Not saying it's the smallest, but the hinge does not flop shut on its own like some others do. Controls. These seem decent and I have not had issues when I use them, though I have to be transparent. I have these paired with an Android television box, my Fire Stick 2nd Gen, and my laptop. Even when I use them, I am not always using the touch controls. Battery life. I can't say I have had this long enough to really test this versus what is advertised, but I am happy with the performance I have experienced. This is so picky and I don't care, to be honest, but there is a voice that tells you they are connected. For example, the issue is when you put the second bud in, there will be say a connected over what you are listening to. I have heard that is annoying when on a phone call and say swapping buds. That connected from the Earbuds over what the other person is saying. I hesitate to even mention this as a con. From the brand previous page, the TOZO brand was established in 2015. Focus on the design, development, and sales of smart accessories and hardware. The main products are wireless headsets, remote control electronic devices, drone, mobile power supplies, wireless chargers, and smartwatches. TOZO wireless earbuds. Visit the store. TOZO active noise cancelling. Visit the store. TOZO wireless earbuds. Visit the store. TOZO wireless. Visit the store. TOZO wireless charger. Visit the store. Next page. Product linked in the description below. Our first question is from Tommy. Which is better, TOZO 10 or T6? I have both. The T6 is better. The T6 is better. If your fingers are normal size or smaller, definitely go with the T6. See less? Smaller case, better speaker design. Smaller case, better speaker design. Don't listen to the model numbers. The T6 is newer than the 10. I know makes no sense. Don't listen to the model numbers. The T6 is newer than the 10. I know makes no sense. I would only recommend the 10 of the T6 if you have big, chubby, thick hands, because the T6 can be hard to pull out of the case with big fingers. I would only recommend the 10 of the T6 if you have big, chubby, thick hands, because the T6 can be hard to pull out of the case with big fingers. If your fingers see more, I have both. Product linked in the description below. For more content like this, please subscribe and click the bell icon so you are notified of new uploads. We upload new videos every day. See you next time.